It covers up scandal, makes justice a mockery. Man, call in the vandals, smash up the palace crockery. Some people think the Queen is still a leader, like the nations of the world give her monkeys who succeeds her. And Eton public school boys get away with paedophilia, but Britain's still great, mate, if you believe the media. Feeding your lies, no compassion in their eyes. There's fascists back in fashion, but you still don't want to rise. Distracted by appearance, like an MP's lack of ties or celebrities' thighs. They plot and they devise, so you don't realise. But I spy over the channel, there's still thousands of refugees. And despite what bigots want us to think, there's still humanity. We're giving in to irritation and insanity. Comparing them to rats and roaches is like a Nazi fantasy. And when only the rich afford higher education, that's the definition of class segregation. Their ongoing mission to cause societal regression by cutting working class areas, diverting all attention from the 1 million people having to use food banks regularly, or the bankers that fuck things get bonuses quarterly. Riot cops dispatched to keep you calm and orderly, while the 1% is getting their reward in early. Bread and circus for you plebs, fear the Reds under beds, as if McCarthy still says what should be seen or read. And the vault of information on the internet is led to make you think it's no one's fault when kids are underfed or even dead due to brutal cuts to support networks. Multiple threads of unemployed can't get work. Rich kids with dreads and clubs corners on catalogue, they'll tell you who to trust while operatives conduct wet work. In developing countries throughout the Middle East, why would they want to stop when there's no reason to cease? And people still to fleece with barefaced lies under lease through government forces because they own the police. Why would they go for peace when they can get your piece of the pie by just taking it off you by force? And if you try to shake it off, they'll call in the laws with the high-vis jackets swinging clubs from their horse. Supergrass didn't mention if you were caught by the fuzz. Don't be Asian or black like Mark Duggan was. Crime apparently don't pay, but war definitely does. For every mine that goes boom or every bullet that buzz lines the pockets of executives from private companies. Our democratic process ensures these corporate thieves make billions at our expense. A social disease hiding behind euphemistic names, and every one of these, from Chemling to Thales to BAE Systems to Northern on civilians with the guns that find missed them. They run abhorrent schemes like for-profit prisons, and they get away with murder because there's no one to resist them. And I mean that literally. They murder people blatantly through fear and control, and a business that is patently designed to enhance any bit of worry latently embedded by chance in your head. Basically designed to enshrine that depressing state of mind, so you're resigned and defined by a world that keeps you blind. Your mind's kept running by the everyday grind, and every opportunity is taken to remind it's a world in which they alone hold the power. They don't care about the throne because that changes by the hour. Don't worry about that clown who came down from Trump Tower. Worry about the machinations run to keep you dour. To make you cower in fear at the sound of the bomb. But there's something in your belly tells you something's very wrong. But we're distracted by the telly because the X Factor's on, and maybe we can get to see who the next one is who won. A max 6-month period of relevance and fame for its own damn sakes, that's how you play the game. They don't want you awake, they'd rather you stayed lame, because it makes it so much easier to drive us all insane. It won't change. It won't change. It won't change. It's stuck in this way because we let it. Through apathy and boredom and not wanting to get it. I'm not innocent of this when all I do is rap a bit. But even if 1% of my stunning rapier wit, yes, sarcastic. But if it succeeded to awaken us, to make us see we don't need two parties so analogous. Not gonna say the Illuminati is controlling us. There's no need for conspiracy when it's all so obvious. But maybe I'm just preaching to the converted. And it's difficult to see how this dystopia could be averted. Of course, the justice is perverted. While ministers act sinister and the richest are alerted, with concerted efforts to preserve the wealth divide. See, the Panama Papers show they're not on our side. Unless you're making six figures, then you get a free ride. They let the poorest die out, that's financial genocide. The side that the papers are wrong is a right-wing think tank who themselves get funded by the reps of city banks. They aim to sell the story you're a paranoid crank if you dare question narratives or step outside your rank. If you didn't go to public school and know the right folk, then you don't get the money or the power or the joke. They'll openly laugh while benefits go up in smoke, and the war on drugs is fine if it don't affect their coke. But if you tote rock, then you need to be banged up. Figures unavailable, MOJ have clammed up, and they get away with this because no one ever stands up against the Thatcher ideology. They still hang up. There's something to be proud of, like they deserve what they get, whether it's tax cuts or leg ups or unearned respect. If you're not born upper class, then your whole life is set to work inside a system from which you cannot be let out or set free. Don't believe the myth of bootstraps they made up to placate you, these tax dodging rats. If you want to be successful, make sure you're sat at the top table, chucking the working man's scraps. See, you'll bleed from the cuts that they sling like darts. They want you to stay quiet and just play your part. But if you ain't rich, then good luck working in the arts, because without a trust fund, you ain't playing a part. Apart from all of this, aren't politics boring? Who cares about that third world day wage warring? No hacks it's throwing, facts is they're calling, of facts they're obscuring, of wealth that they're storing. If you're drawing from this, they're taking the piss, treating all of us like we're gullible pricks. Ignore their false carrot and instead grab that stick and beat these false masters, ignore their fake tricks. Things can only change if we manage to break free, and that can be arranged, that can be arranged. Things will only change if we manage to break free, and that can be arranged, man, that can be arranged. Things will only change if we manage to break free, and that can be arranged if we break the oligarchy. Things will only change if we manage to break free, and that can be arranged if we smash the patriarchy. See, the limits on their way of life is just fantasy. We can smash the chains and be the change that we want to see. Thank you. Thanks very much. Dr. Lighthouse on VJ duties. Thanks very much.